Summer is finally here, and Melonie and I have come up with a few games that you'll definitely want to look into. Now, all these games are already out, so you might be able to find pre-owned copies to save yourself some money.
That's right, and you may want to use that money to cool yourself off on these hot summer days with some delicious ice cream.
Oh my God, now I want ice cream. Before we even go any further, I have to ask, favorite ice cream?
Anything peanut butter chocolate, I gotta say. What about you?
I'm really big on cookies and cream.
Okay.
I just love cookies and cream. I don't care if it's in a cone, cup, whatever it is.
All right. But my first pick with games, however, right now for the summer, I definitely got to go with Octopath Traveler on the Switch. And I think this is perfect for if you're on summer vacation, but you still want to get lost in a beautiful game on the go. And Octopath follows the story of 8 different characters, and each have their own unique adventures and roles. And my personal favorite is Honnet. She's a hunter, she's got a bow, and she can capture and battle with various beasts as well. And they all have their own different abilities. So basically, you choose your character you start with. Then you can choose your own path and experience the stories of other characters in your party as well. And what's fun about this is that you don't have to go in a particular order. So the way you play will be different than the way your friend plays or a streamer you watch plays, based on the path and stories that you choose to experience at any given time, as well as who you choose to fight with in your main party. And I love this game because it really brings me back to old school RPGs with its charming 2D art style and turn-based combat, which these days is very rare to come by. And I do love my action RPGs for sure, but there's just something about those turn-based RPGs that I really cannot get enough of. And I think this game is perfect for those who love RPG games, of course, and especially turn-based and old school style in general. And I keep going back to this all the time, but I'm stuck in the past of amazing old school games. So anytime a modern game comes out that is inspired by older game styles, I am all about it.
I have to wonder about that because I haven't played it yet. I have the prologue, you know, the little demo they have on the Switch, which I think leads into the main game too, if you played it.
Oh, it does, yeah.
And I haven't caught myself playing it because I wonder about getting stuck in the game in terms of leveling up and wanting to play for 60, 70, 80 hours. Do you remember how long your gameplay experience was?
I don't even remember. I made it through, like, I haven't even completed it yet, but I did make it through like a huge chunk of it, so I couldn't even tell you how long it took to actually beat it, but yeah, it's
We're in the same boat.
I love just getting the different perspectives and the different, you know, experiencing the stories of each character in your party, because you're not just like, oh, here's somebody that I just met and I'm going to have them in my party now, and you don't know that much about them. You actually get to see their backstories, you get to see, you know, what their purpose is and what they're even fighting for, you know, and so it's a whole, yeah, exactly. So it really adds a lot more of an experience for sure.
Guess I have to play on my Switch then.
That's right. But what about you? What's your pick?
I mean, everyone spends their summer differently, right? I mean, for some, this is a time where they pick up a lot of extra work and keep themselves busy, but that doesn't mean they still don't want to fit in some gaming time, you know, when they get the chance. And for that reason, my pick is LA Noire. I mean, LA Noire is about an LAPD officer, detective named Cole Phelps, and it's set in 1947 Los Angeles with realistic landmarks. You solve cases with advancing through different parts of the LAPD, so you might go through arson and narcotics and different roles along the way. Now, one of the core features of the game that I really enjoy is you want to monitor the facial disposition of the characters when you interrogate them, having like little tells in terms of looking off to the side or maybe little nervous tics they have. You have to wonder, are they lying? Do you doubt them? Are they telling the truth? And depending on how well you do in the cases with clues, you write those down and maybe you have all the clues you need, maybe you don't, maybe some red herrings in between, so you have to really use your detective skills to find out where does the case go. And I really enjoy this game too because it's not so much about the crime solved, but the disillusions that, you know, Cole Phelps suffers. It's not a feel-good, pretty story, so I want to just warn everybody ahead of time about that. Cole Phelps is an extremely flawed and tragic character. It's not meant to be overly comedic, it's neo-noir, so a lot of things are not great. But one thing that is great is the music. It's outstanding. The jazz music is so good, and if you're not a fan of jazz, you will be at the end of this game. It fits the chase scenes, the interrogations, wandering around the open world. It's so good, and I feel like a lot of games these days are all about taking on modern times and sci-fi and space, and this setting is so different, it almost feels equally alien, you know? So this is a perfect game for anyone who has off and on time because you can solve a case, go do something. Solve a case, do something, pick up where you are the entire time. So if you need a break from Netflix or Hulu, and you still don't have that drama feel in your life, you can do that with LA Noire.
And I love what you mentioned about, paying attention to the facial expressions and the reactions to the people that you're interrogating.
Yep.
I feel like that would be a lot of pressure because every little thing they could do, like, oh, he scratched his nose, he's nervous,
Yep.
he must be guilty. And then you could totally be wrong, though. Like, it's a lot.
And it happens too, and you feel trash. You're like, I know they're lying, and later on it's like, oh, that wasn't the murderer.
Yeah.
They just look like that.
It's really hard to figure out the difference between being nervous and lying.
Yeah. Wow, it's kind of like real life if you think about it.
Yeah, just like real life.
But enough about that real life stuff.
Yeah.
What's your next game?
I definitely have to go with Red Dead Redemption 2. So my first game was something you could play on the go. This time around, I wanted to pick a game that you could binge play at home for the entire summer if you really wanted to. Now, this game is a prequel to Red Dead Redemption that followed John Marston's story. And while he's still in the game this time around, the main character is Arthur Morgan. So Red Dead Redemption 2 puts you straight into the Wild West and delivers such a strong narrative experience. And it truly does make you feel like you're a cowboy traveling around on horseback, hunting, fishing, robbing banks, and feuding with those pesky Pinkertons. Yeah, I had so much fun with this game, and at first I wasn't even sure what to think about it because it's kind of, it starts out a little slow, but then the more you realize, hey, this is like a novel or something. You're in for an experience and you're truly feeling like you're in the Wild West. And the story itself is what made this game my game of the year. It was just that good, and I'm not going to spoil that, of course, but as you know, it was both very thrilling and also an emotional roller coaster as well. And not only that, but the gameplay itself offers so much to do apart from the main story, and it really can keep you busy all summer long if you want. So anyone who enjoys a good open world game with a compelling story and a whole bunch of extra things to do will absolutely love this game. And the thing that kept me busy, and I know it kept you busy too, was the hunting.
Yeah.
I saw this skunk hat. I was like, it's adorable. I need it, but it's not so simple. You gotta first of all know where to find the skunks, what time they're gonna be out. You gotta find the right weapon so you don't ruin their pelts, and you gotta get that perfect pelt so you can get that perfect hat.
Yep.
Yeah.
All that ruined pelt stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so with that being said, what's your next game, Adrian?
My next game is also one that you can spend all summer long playing, and that is the Banner Saga Trilogy. The sun is stopped in the sky and leaves everyone in perpetual twilight. So this game takes place kind of in an unsteady alliance between the Varl, which are these hulking giants, and humans in a Viking-esque world. Now, they're both kind of fearful of the incoming dredge, who are these stone creatures who invade the peace of the Varl and humans, as one does, and it makes for a good storyline the entire time. What makes it more challenging is it's a turn-based strategy game. So you gotta keep thinking on your feet and plan your every approach. I mean, supplies are minimum, rest are minimum. It makes it so much harder because there's death and loss in the game.
Yeah.
And any game that has death and loss, not like you're better loss, but like you're dead, you're perma-dead.
Yeah.
It makes it really hard to make choices, and that's why I love it. It adds a gravity and a weight to every decision that you make. Now, it does a great job of making you manage your resources properly between caravan travel days. And also, how you choose to speak with different people will greatly affect how the story unfolds. So, who allies with you, who doesn't like you, who will die later on, that all matters. But seriously, not only in battle, your text decisions could lead to someone's demise, in battle or otherwise. You say the wrong thing, someone dies. You do the wrong thing, someone dies. But the game is perfect for anyone who likes to grind it out and take their time for what can be exhaustive battles. There's no going back, so every choice matters. Plus, you get 3 games in 1. It's a great story.
Yeah, I think that's great. And the thing about how you mentioned the permadeaths and stuff, it just brings me back to my old Fire Emblem days, and it's like you get attached to a character, they die, and it's tragic.
Sometimes it feels like you did everything right, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Someone who says, should I be the one to go, to this campsite? And you go, actually, I want them to go. And the other person dies anyway. They just get in the line of fire. It just feels you can't get attached to anyone, and it includes main characters aren't safe either.
Uh-oh.
I won't do any spoilers, but let's just say that everything adds
Okay.
up. Now, it was really tough to narrow this down to our top 2 suggestions each, so we're going to include a few honorable mentions as well. Melanie, what are yours?
For my honorable mentions, I definitely have to go with Nier Automata, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and Persona 5. Honestly, all those games will keep you busy for a while, too.
Yeah, I like that. Those are pretty good picks. Mine, I would say, are the Talos Principle, the Deluxe Edition, the Inside and Limbo double pack, and Deus Ex Mankind Divided.
All right, well, there you have it. No excuses now. You all have plenty of amazing games to choose from to keep you entertained all summer long. Talk to a guest advisor at your local GameStop store or head over to GameStop.com to see if you can find yourself some pre-owned copies of the games we just talked about.
All right, it's time for us to take a quick break, but GameStop TV will be right back. Hey, it's broken record time. You know what that means. Like, comment, subscribe. It's easy, so do it.